welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday, and not everybody believes it, but it's 7 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're spending hours planning your next caching trip, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Yes, indeed. Welcome all and welcome back, jtCoffee. We're so glad you're back on our podcast.
I'm so glad to be here and see everyone. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. We're going to catch up with all of JT's travels, learn about a new product. We got all kinds of great things in store. Listeners, jump in the chat, give us your feedback, share your questions and thoughts, and all that stuff that I think you're already doing. So why do I even ask? But thanks. Of course, before we can jump into all that great content, we'd like to take just a moment and thank you, our patrons. Offer a thank you to our patrons. You know, they help keep this podcast coming each and every week. We're going to start with Land Sharks. They are one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Don't forget those fun guy trackables for all the fun guys and gals out there. Go check them out at landsharks.ca. They ship online orders daily, and they got all kinds of great stuff for all your geocaching needs. I also like to thank Cachely. That's the premier geocaching app for iOS. Version 8.1 with Cachely Pro features offline maps of the entire world. You can navigate while offline. You can do your DeLorme, your counties, your grids, all the things that you've got notebooks to list out. And coming soon, CarPlay support. You can find Cachely in the iOS App Store, or you can go to cachely.com. And finally, but last but not least, welcome to Valemount. We'd like to thank them for sponsoring us. Up at Valemount, every season offers its own unique adventure. If you want to know a lot of detail about it, go check out last week's episode. We had a great interview there. Whether you seek outdoor thrills or a peaceful retreat, Valemount awaits you. And if I recall, just about everything is within a stone's throw of the Welcome Center.
That's right. Exactly.
The visitor center. So it's all there. Some great stuff. I would love to go visit that someday. And if anybody else would like to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link. You'll find that on the CachingNW.com website.
Thank you very much. They say Valemount is in the center of it all. And I think the visitor center is in the center of Valemount.
I think it is.
Yeah. It's all concentric circles. Only if we had an expert on concentric circles.
Expert in a suit, maybe. Anyway.
Hey, tonight, use the hashtag notebook if you want to join in the chat. And trust me, you will. This is exciting. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to bring up anything in the after show. And before we get started, Jesse, thank you for your patience. Did you know Bounce Bounce is having a Star Wars Day event
coming up in Bellevue?
Yeah. May the 3rd, prior to May the 4th. And we know you want to go and you want to win big prizes from that vault, right? At the end of the evening, he has everybody come forward who has a key, try to open that vault. Well, you know what? You have to find a key first. Luckily, you are in the right place. Bounce Bounce sent us a couple of keys. And I have hidden one right here in my fine city of Tacoma. So you need this clue. This is going to be the clue to go find it, right? We'll give you one now, one at the end of the show. The first clue tonight is put your shoes on and go meet Mr. Mason. Put your shoes on and go meet Mr. Mason. Stay tuned at the end, and we're going to give you another clue. I'll even give you exact coordinates.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't get any better than that. Well, should we talk about treasures? Because, you know, that's the latest and greatest thing from HQ, right?
It is.
And being that it's Easter season, they've added an egg hunt. Because who doesn't love a good Easter egg hunt, right?
I love Easter eggs.
So this collection of treasures highlights 7 different geocache types with, oddly enough, seven different treasures. Each treasure in this collection has different criteria for the geocaches you have to find and log in order to collect the treasure. You can get them in any order you like.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But you can get one by getting a traditional cache with a difficulty rating of 2 or above. So pay attention to the details. Another egg you can find by logging a mystery cache with a difficulty rating of 2 or above. You can get one by finding a multi-cache with a
What would the
difficulty
difficulty
rating
rating
of
be?
2 or above.
Oh, man.
And if it's a multi-cache, that means there's also 2 waypoints or above, right?
That's right. 2 or
Okay.
above.
Yeah. Letterbox hybrid. Those were not as common around that I've seen,
With
but-
one stamp or above.
Yeah, no. Difficulty reading 2 or above. And then you can get the final 3 by attending a regular event cache, finding and logging an Earth cache, or finding and logging a virtual cache. There are no difficulty restrictions on those, especially the event cache.
I think you should have a difficulty of
Yeah, if
2
you can
or
have like a
above.
difficulty 4 event, that might be an interesting aspect to them, huh? So yeah, get out and find those eggs.
And Jesse, we were talking before the podcast started that you need to collect other sets before you can go out and get these eggs.
Not necessarily. There's 4 different collections. And so it can be a little complicated since one person could be talking about one collection, another person can be talking about another collection, but they're all in the app, which is really nice. And you can expand them and fold them and see what you need to do. And yeah.
Well, this just in from Brylang. For the event Easter egg, do you do CTO or CCE events count for that?
Regular old plain meet and greet events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's my magic button right there.
Wow. I don't even see it. It's so magical.
She's brought the magic to the show.
Yes, it does say regular event. So you have to go to a regular event. I know there's a lot of CCEs and block party events, but you have to find a regular old event.
Regular old event. And they're easier to search for now in the app, which is kind of cool. I just noticed that.
Gia says you need to complete celebrating 25 years of geocaching to access the egg hunt and navigational tools.
Oh, nice.
Good to know.
She knows.
And-
That's perfect.
And Kitty Quest has all of the April treasures except for that event egg. And she's going to get that tomorrow. Surprised these 2 collections were concurrent, whereas the March ones were not. So little.
And what's neat too is that like if someone started playing today and they haven't missed out on the ones that were released in March. And the same goes as for other ones that we are so accustomed to these summer promotions. So you have a very specific amount of time on that cosmic quest happens or mystery at the museum or reach the peak or something like that. But these are just ongoing, which is really nice. There's no urgency.
I assume the Easter eggs are timed, right? They probably won't be going on forever. They'll be
Well, never say
April.
forever, but they are not limited. You can get them. You can work on them in next month if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. All right. Well, if you're looking for an event to attend, sorry, I won't qualify for an egg because it is a CCE event, I believe. But a week from Saturday, if you want to pop on up to the Land Sharks store in Victoria, BC, you can hang out with some podcasters and some geocachers and some all kinds of really cool people. Land Sharks have invited the 3 of us hosts. Yes, there is a 3rd host. Yes, he does exist. Yes, he was almost here tonight with some technical difficulties. You never know. He's a
could
smart
pop in
guy.
at any moment.
He is. Yeah, he's a smart guy. He might just
does
resolve
pop
those issues and just and show up. Pay attention. You never know. But on the afternoon of April 12th, that's a Saturday. I believe it's from 2 to 4 p.m.
You're
You
exactly
can join
right.
all of us for an exciting afternoon of geocaching camaraderie. Because, I don't have enough camaraderie in my life. You can mingle with all of us hosts. You can swap trackables. You can enjoy snacks and beverages. I don't know. There might even be a lackey to meet or two. Sometimes it happens. I can't guarantee that. We'll see.
I'm planning to be there. I haven't logged my will attend yet. I'm bad at that.
Okay. Well, I wasn't hinting at that, but it'll be great to see if you're there. So
Book
whether
your
you're
ferry
a
travel.
long, what's that?
Book your ferry travel.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And geocaches will be there too.
Cool. So if you're a longtime listener, or maybe you're just brand new to the show, this is a chance to see a live recording, chat about all things caching, and connect with some fellow geocachers from near and far.
It sounds nice.
Yeah.
And if you can't make it to that, there's a CCE in Silverdale. Say that 10 times fast. On April 12th as well.
All right.
That's still going the same general direction, right?
Yeah.
From most of Western Washington, you have to head that northwest direction.
Yeah, I think I'll be passing through Silverdale on my way up to the other one. So not on Saturday. I'll already be up there. But
That one for the CCE in Silverdale is GC Alpha's Z Whiskey Motel. I've forgotten it.
look,
H?
GC Alpha Zulu Whiskey Motel.
Mike Hotel.
Mike Hotel. Yeah. You threw me
Like
off.
motel, hotel? Like
Motel
that can't be
Hotel. No,
right.
you threw me off there.
See, I throw myself off all the time.
Yeah. And the event to meets all of us is, whoops, let's see there. That's the Land Sharks event. That's GC Alpha Victor Zulu 4 Bravo.
Yes, it is. That's correct.
Oh, thank
Nicely
you.
done.
Whew. Glad I got it right. I get demerits if I didn't get it right.
You know,
Can't
I
have
can
that.
do it. I just can't do it on the fly. I have to think about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Then I got it. One of these days. It's not that important to me.
All right. Well, I think that's all of the news that's fit to share here tonight that we
All the
have
news
time
that's fit
for,
to print.
because we want to get into talking with our guests. So Jesse, we already welcomed you, but officially welcome back.
Hi, thanks.
Now, we know you don't let any moss grow on you. So before we jump into the topic completely, do you have any big geocaching adventures from your, recent travels that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so far this year, I've been traveling a bit. Yeah, which is great. Lots of excitement so far, lots of excitement to come. And the days are getting longer. So even just adding little adventures after work feels great. I've been to a couple of really great community celebration events so far. Speaking of all these community celebration events, I'm so glad to have those back. I love attending them, and I love that they feel a little bit extra, even though it's the same humans that I see because they're around here, and but there might be a few extra activities or a few extra fun things in it. They're a little bit longer, and so they're so creative so far, and they're all different from each other, and I've really enjoyed that. Let's see, I've been to like Vashon and the Washington coast, some like real close things, but I realized because I went to, spoiler to the next thing, I went to a block party already in Alabama, and we were talking about Cache Across America, and they said to me, "What's the Cache Across America cache like in Washington?" And I was like, I can't believe I can tell you this, but I have found 10,000 caches in Washington State. Not that many, but I somehow don't have that one. So that became an order of very high importance, and it's on the coast. And so then did a nice loop round road trip, and went out to see the Tree of Life, which is a really cool Washington little secret spot right next to an old virtual.
Is the Tree of Life the one where all the roots are exposed?
Yes.
Yes.
It's on this like bluff, on this like the sand bluff. And so the sand is eroding away because there's a waterfall behind it. And so it's just barely holding on. And I keep seeing all these articles saying that the Tree of Life is going to end its life. Right. And it will be the tree of, or the log of life here pretty soon, or the driftwood of life. And of course that will inevitably happen, but I've seen so many pictures of it and I hadn't seen it in person. And so had to go get that old virtual, and then had to walk down on the beach and see that cool tree and loop back up through Forks. That was great. And then, yes, scooting over to the block party, I went to the block party in Alabama called Bamarama. They've been a mega in the past. They chose block party for this year. And that was really fun. I've been to the Bamarama before. They do such a great job of so many caches placed and so many adventures and so many events and all these add-on activities and so much fun. And there's almost even there's so much to do that you have options to do. You can choose between things. It's great. And so drove in from New Orleans and then county cached on the way in, which was great. County cached on the way back, which was great. Found a lot of challenge caches. And then, of course, block parties are just a great way to see friends. So I was traveling with geocaches, and then we saw Ari54321, friend of the show, Jeannie's other friend of the show, Trey Caches, friend of the shows. It was just a really great time to see everybody.
Were you all in Gilby?
Yeah, basically the Gilby crew was there. And so it was so great to see them. We did go to Gilby in September. And so it was great to see them then, and great to go back to Gilby and celebrate the Geo Tour and find all those new caches that I didn't have. I got to chatting last time I was there, so I had to find more caches this time. But it was great to see them again. And
you mentioned Gia. I just want to say she just beat you to logging the Willow 10 for the event next weekend. So
Now there's a competition.
Yeah, I'm sure there's no competition between lackeys, but just so you know.
Excellent. Well, then we'll have to be there. We've said it.
I'll put Gia on the spot. She's going to have to come on the show and talk about Gilby again, because she is the official Gilby hype girl.
That's right. She'll ask you if you thought about Gilby today. And I'm very behind on my drafts because I actually just got back from a weekend in Nanaimo, and because through there's a bunch of forest roads, and they're filled with caches that you need, like the fishing poles, to get to. So they have great DT combinations, and Gia and I have been caching through there before, but there's so many we couldn't do them all. Well, we're gonna have to go back. So we planned this trip to go back, and it's so much fun. It was really, really wet, but of course, that wasn't a surprise. Yeah. So it's fine, and it's so many great caches. Beautiful views, so fun. I love using tools and things like that. So grabbing the caches from, grabbed every length of grabber we could find, the really long ones, the short ones, and oh, nope, gonna need the big one for that one. That's so fun.
I hear the cachers in that area just keep ladders in their cars at all times, because you just never know.
We borrowed once on another trip up, we borrowed a ladder from Land Monkey because we needed one, and then we just you don't happen to have one, do you? And we did have a ladder with us in the car, but we just didn't end up using it for this particular route that we did.
And if you're in Nanaimo, you got a Nanaimo bar, right?
There is a place called the Nanaimo Bar.
Of course there is.
Yeah, and it's okay, just obviously. And then there's Nanaimo bars in shops, of course. And then there's Nanaimo Bar flavored things. So a Nanaimo Bar ice cream, and Nanaimo Bar martini, and Nanaimo Bar milkshake, and stuff like that. So yeah.
All righty then. Wow. Yeah, I guess I'm missing out.
You really ought to get up there.
Have all those things with a side of insulin, and you're good to go.
You'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Gia's basically on the show. So, she says, "I'm glad you asked. Gilby Gone Wild 6 is published. That's GC beta 2575. See, with numbers, I've got no problem.
Yeah, that's a nice GC code too. Nice and easy to remember.
2575.
Yeah, with a B in there.
Yeah. Isn't 25 and 75 about the miles you have to travel to get to Gilby?
Well, from there,
wherever you go, wherever you're from.
If only there was someone to look that up.
It just might show up.
Why are we stuck on Nanaimo? There's a Nanaimo Bar AL.
There really is.
And Nanaimo had a pirate mayor.
Wow.
So there you go.
There wasn't an adventure about that, or at least I didn't do that one per se. there are quite a few adventures and some great caches. There's one really cute one, the library, a little free library. Like, wow.
Well, we know that challenge caching and planning has so many unique aspects, and that's a skill that you have. So what challenges are you working on right now, and what are you targeting for this year?
Oh gosh, it's just I still have that low-key rule of if I've heard about it, I'm working on it.
Okay.
And that makes it so I have a lot of irons in the fire, which then means I don't achieve them quite as fast as I wanted to. But I still have a lot that I'm cooking, which is nice. I'd like to get all 50 a cache in all 50 states. I'm very close. We've got plans to get one of them, at least one of them this year, if not more. I still need West Virginia, and there just happens to be a giga over there. So I was like,
I've heard about that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that'll be great to check that off. Then I'll be 4 away after that, and so it's got to figure it out. And I'm always looking for more counties, because that's kind of the beauty of the county challenges is no matter where you are, there's a smaller region. So if you're in a country, there's a municipality or some sort of like in Australia, LGAs. So there's just always little partitions of things that you can pick up and maps to shade in. So I'm all about that, which is nice. It feels like you can never really get to the end of that. It's just more. There's always more. And I would really like to get my cumulative DT rating, specifically terrain. I have signed 2 challenges where you need both your difficulty and terrain averaged to be 1.9. And I'm way over that for difficulty, but I'm at 1.88 for terrain, and I went up to 1.89. I was like, oh, I'm so and then it's all those events. I go to so many events that are 1-1s, and they just kind of slide me back. And so I'm really looking forward to logging all of my Nanaimo caches, and maybe I'll get up over that. I also I have little side quests that I like to do that are not necessarily publishable challenges. So I've attended at least one event every single week for a year, and which is we live in the land of abundance here in Seattle. There's just events every single day. I like have to actively choose not to go to one in order to miss an event down here, or like miss a day down here, or have something else to do. But it's the hardest was around Christmas time, just because there's lots of stuff going in. But I almost didn't even have to think about it, and it's really neat that there's just that many opportunities to visit and meet new people or see old friends. And oh gosh, gotta push that again. Look at that. But it's not publishable because you can only specify streaks by number of days cached rather than number of weeks cached or number of years or number of months or anything like that. So not publishable. Don't get excited. All the challenge hounds. Whoa. Don't send that to your reviewer. But it is still a fun little thing to do because it doesn't necessarily have to be done because there's a challenge cache.
Wait, you can do things that aren't challenges.
I know it is kind of breaks your brain, and in some ways it's like, well, gosh, what even is the point? But
Ryling really wasn't listening. Wait, what are we not sending to the reviewer?
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Yeah, do not get any ideas. Do not submit.
Download the podcast later. Listen to what you missed. And
actually, you can ask for a checker, just because there are checkers that exist that have nothing to do with challenges, because you can just have a checker for things. But that's how I knew, in fact, that I had achieved at least one event a week for a year. But
you could put a bunch of them together and make a checkerboard.
Isn't that the body that reviews the checkers?
Yes,
the checkerboard.
I'm sure it
is. You should be getting with Seebeck Tribe. She's only putting on 25 events this year. That's one every other week. She did 50 last year.
Yeah.
A lot. That's so great. What a cool goal.
Yeah.
I've been to maybe 2 of them, 3 of them so far. 2 of them. Yeah.
If you're in Seebeck, there's a chance there's an event.
Probably.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Yeah.
And if you're planning to be there, a couple of weeks out, let her know, and she'll probably add one in your honor.
Right.
All right. Well, you've got so many things going, and we've talked before about how you track all of that planning. And of course, it's the notebook, right? And tonight we're excited to share about the new jtCoffee notebooks. So let's just jump into those.
Yeah, I originally created notebooks to track challenges because there are some old legacy challenges that really just you need to track by writing them down. And some of the first challenges that I really wanted to keep track of was the Cities and Towns Challenge. So I wrote down and that's a challenge in Washington State, owned and loved by CRS 98. That is, you must find one cache in 120 specific cities or towns in Washington State.
Wow.
And it must be within the city limits, not even like within spitting distance, but like right there, very specific. I had to go back to Rock Island 3 times because I missed it. But yeah, I needed to keep track of that. And so I wrote them all down, and I like at December 7th, 2019, I was halfway, and I wrote that down so I could inspire myself to keep going. I had 50 left a year later, because that was 2020 and things were happening. Thanks for that GC code. Perfect. I also wanted to work on my DT loops. How adorable. Here's my, what I needed for my second loop and what I needed for my third loop. And for those who are just listening, I drew out the 81 square grid myself. And then I highlighted the squares I needed and then checked them off as I got them. Now, of course, we have the filter for this in the app, which is great. But at the time, I wanted to work on number 2 and number 3 because I've always had the habit of working on multiple loops at once. And I wanted to kind of overlay them together and keep track. Well, I don't need that for 2, but I do need that for 3. And then I was working on different calendar challenges. So I printed these out, and then I would highlight the days that I needed multis and the days that I needed micros down here. And then I wrote, I did that one, done. And then the regulars and the smalls here. And this way there's the island hopping challenge in Washington. These are kind of these older ones that are just a little bit more bookkeeping, that it's tougher to use checkers for. And this was even 2019 wasn't, it was post-moratorium, but before, sometimes there wasn't a checker. And so you just had to keep track of on your own self, and were responsible for what you needed to do and reporting it yourself.
I remember those challenges back in the day where, okay, you have to go do this. There's nothing automated to do it. You just have to report. Here's what I've done.
Yeah. Here's my run to my 10th DT combo. So I was like, here's what I need for 9. Here are the caches. Here's what I need for 10. Here's options for 10, just in case I couldn't find one. I had backups. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
And Keats is going, yay, filters.
Yay, filters.
Yay, filters. Yeah, what a dream that we can just be like, this is what I want. Oh, look.
I have to go slightly off script here and share that I was recently at an event here in the Tri-Cities, and there was a guy sitting over. It was at a restaurant. There was a guy sitting over in the corner. He had headphones on, so I didn't bother him, and he was working on something on the desk. And turns out after when the event rolled around, he was the host of the event. He was there early. He was from out of town visiting, and he said, I messed up my times a little bit, and I didn't want to miss the episode of the Geocache Challenge podcast. But what he was working on was his own notebooks. And he had the same kind of thing where he was drawing out all these grids and everything and filling in graphs with grids. And it reminded me of you tremendously.
Oh, that's beautiful work.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So Where I Go calendar. Look at that. Yeah. And the beautiful title at the top. That's goals.
And there's a QR code that he hand drew that'll let you go see all of his notebooks.
Whoa.
The hand-drawn QR code, and it works.
Yeah. So if you ever run into Cheeky Brit.
I was going to say, is that Cheeky Brit?
Yeah.
You know that, cheeky Brit?
Yeah. Some great notebooks there.
Amazing.
Okay.
So cool.
Return you to your currently
100 years
podcast.
from now, all of Jesse's notebooks will be in a glass cabinet museum display case for hobbies from the past century.
Level section of the HQ.
There you go. All future HQs will have a museum for jtCoffee's notebooks.
It's a great idea, Jerry.
There you go. It'd be cool to see in the lobby of HQ. Yes.
Yeah. Like, how do you keep track of all these things? Here's an option.
Mm-hmm.
And Keats goes, I didn't know you could draw a QR code and make it work.
Well, you go rewind the podcast and go check it out.
It's squares.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
got to be able to draw
It's
squares.
true.
That's right.
Very specific, precise squares. Wow. The opportunities are endless.
Oh,
You want to go
okay.
mess with other QR codes like in restaurants and draw some extra squares
Yeah.
on them. And like,
There's certain redundancy built into them.
Yes.
You can disrupt a certain amount of them. That's how they can put little logos and graphics in the middles of them.
oh, wow.
And that's why you can get them at different angles. They can be upside down, sideways.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
QR codes are really quite interesting.
They are. Yeah.
That sounds like that's a FATAST QR code
There you go.
or a whole new other episode.
Ooh. Episode on QR codes. Okay.
Nice.
So let's see, where are we?
Oh, somewhere here, and I don't know.
We could talk about things like features of notebooks.
Well, I was gonna say, can you walk us through your design process for making your
Yeah.
notebook?
I really prefer spiralless.
Mhm.
My first,
Bound.
I have another notebook. I have many types of notebooks. Ever since I was hosting events, I wanted all of my event logs to be in a notebook. And I very specifically did not want one to be or have a spiral notebook because I wanted to be able to just put it in a pocket, whatever I have, and not get it all tangled up with the mesh on the inside or a mesh in my suitcase or anything like that.
Or poking
And
through.
you can see this one's pretty dog-eared by now.
Yeah.
But it's so nice and so thin. Same with the one that lives in my bag my everyday carry bag. This is like my field puzzle notebook. And it's got to be really thin and really small so that it doesn't get tangled up with all the 800 other things that I have in my bag. And what's also kind of fun, I picked this up when I was in Finland last year and it has little Moomins on it from Finland. They're very popular there. And so whenever I pick it up, I think about my trip to Helsinki.
Is that your primary souvenir from a country as a notebook?
Oh, that's a good question. I do like to pick up things that I can use every day rather than things just to look at. So I can get a mug or a book or something like that so that it's like, oh yeah, I got that from the time I went to Helsinki, and keep going. Yeah.
So they've got covers that remind you of travels.
Yeah.
But what's inside?
Answers.
What's not, right?
Coordinates. There's some right there.
So if you've done a mystery or a puzzle cache, we can ask you, hey, what did you get for your final coordinates? And you're going to have them in a notebook?
Probably will.
Yes. And I've been trying when so many puzzles are solved kind of digitally these days, but there were times when you could solve them by writing them out. And so I had a notebook for that. I numbered all the pages, and then my personal notes on the website on the cache page was the page of the notebook where the answer was, so that I could refer back to all of my work. I'm like, page 36. Okay. And that one's like a bigger notebook.
Awesome.
Yeah. I try to be a good phone a friend. I'm not always, but sometimes the notebooks really help.
Well, you've got lots of fans. For example, Sarah Gilmore says, fangirling over jtCoffee, sending love from the mitten.
The Mitten State.
There you go.
Got a lot of states represented tonight.
Yeah.
She was one of my original caching buddies.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And Katie Quest asks, what sort of notes do you put in your field puzzle notebook? Did we cover that one?
Let's look. Whatever A equals, or let's see, sometimes, what is in here? Or just assorted numbers, which you then have to calculate in order to get to the final.
Right.
So like there's a cache located there, and this is the work I had to do to get there.
Mhm.
And it's at, oh yeah, and then who knows what any of these sorts of things mean, but they're very important at the time, and I'm
At the
sure
time,
there's a
yeah.
good reason for me to write them just exactly like that. And other notebooks in the past, I've been better at writing like the GC code or the date I did it or something like that. But this
Sure.
one's a little more slapdash.
When I work on a puzzle cache, not a field puzzle cache, right? Not something out in the field, but working at it on a desk, I use the notes field in the on the page, on the geocache page, and put in all the things I've tried. Okay, I tried this, and copy and paste that in there. So when I come back to it, if I didn't solve it, I look at it and go, okay, that didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. Okay, let me look at it this way now.
Mm-hmm.
And once you try everything that doesn't work, then what's left works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you put down something for a long time because it's frustrating, and then you pick it back up, and then you have that same idea again, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, we've been here before.
Yeah.
I get stuck in my thinking, right? And that's the only way I can do it. It has to be this way. No.
Yeah.
Oh, Cool Cow Cacher says, as an accountant, my notebooks, calendars, and PhysiGrid variations are spreadsheets. Automation for the win.
There you go.
Yeah. There was when I originally signed that challenge I was talking about that had the 1.9 difficulty and terrain average. I surprised myself and created a spreadsheet that would help you figure out, if given this status, how many more of each type would I need, or each combination would I need to get up to 1.9 the fastest? So like, how many 5.5s do I need to get both of those up over? And at the time I signed it, I needed like 400. I'm like, well,
wow.
Okay, I'll be there. I'll be here for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when I signed that. It was maybe 2 years ago now. I'm like, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. There were, while you were talking about cities and towns, there were a lot of comments of, I've got 50 to go, I've got 10 to go. So people are that's still an important challenge to do.
Yeah, I loved it. It showed me my home state. There is all types of little teeny tiny places that you wouldn't go otherwise. And it's so great to see.
Okay, Jesse, the real reason we brought you on tonight.
That's right.
Is because, yes, these notebooks are incredible. But you mentioned that you have a secret sauce, a custom macro that works with Project GC that you can create personalized notebooks for people.
In fact, I have some prototypes here that we can look through together, and they could meet every need at any opportunity. We've got big ones for those large caches that you might need, or if you need a lot of space to show your work.
For those mystery caches, I have 17 different tries of solving. I need a lot of work. I need a lot
of room for that. Exactly. And you want to show your work. Sometimes people do like spirals. I know I said that I don't prefer that, but there is a really nice feature of a spiral notebook where you can open it all the way and lay it flat. That's really nice. So that's an opportunity that people have. It's also interesting sizes. Like this one, plasticized. Also, this one's scented, if you can believe it. I'm not really sure what the scent, perhaps grape or blueberry.
Rainbow scented.
Rainbow scented.
Of course.
Hold it up to the camera so we can all smell it.
Okay, yeah. Everyone, get a good idea.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. That's the scratch and sniff portion of the podcast.
That's right.
The only geocaching podcast with that particular feature.
It doesn't work well on a touch screen, but otherwise,
Otherwise, totally fine. We also have the notebook within a notebook option, which is very helpful. We have this nice cover here so you can replace it as you fill it. You can continue to have it. And then there's pouches for things like pens, and then tiny notebooks in case your notebook needs a notebook. Because you never know when you need one by like, oh dear, here it's a little stuck on the thing. But truly, a little notebook for the larger notebook, because
Okay,
you
that's adorable.
never know.
I love
And this
it.
one even has a interesting animal on it. This is a Malayan tapir.
Oh, well, of course.
Of course, yeah. You never know when you might need that type of information for like puzzle caches or something like that. So
Silly
it's good
me.
to have
From back
observed.
here, I would have said it was a panda.
Well,
Black and
I
white.
can understand that, but yeah, no,
No,
yeah,
paper.
Malayan tapir.
Yeah.
Then there's the Inception, also another type of Inception notebook where it is a notebook with lines, but then the lines are words, so you can actually get more words in there, and you can see like they are. Oh, it's very hard to tell, but it is a story.
Yes,
and you can write more. It makes it like 2 notebooks almost.
2 notebooks in one.
Yeah,
Bonus.
very great feature. What else have we got in here? Smaller, tiny ones for round shaped ones. That's important to have.
When you get around to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of Write in the Rain, really good Write in the Rain paper for some notebooks. That's really good.
Always good.
Yeah,
use
so
that
there's
in the
really just an
Northwest.
option for everyone at any given point.
So these macros that you've created for Project GC, they allow you to customize notebooks to tune in the challenges that the people are looking for, right?
Right.
So if you're going after, boy, I don't even want to say a challenge because I don't know if I could present one properly. What was the one with the rest stops along I-5?
Oh, the Gladder Bladder.
Bladder challenge. There you go. So something like that you could put in there and
Right.
help people to find those particular.
Automatically.
Yeah.
And it would exactly. So then you could enter in as you go where you're going, which ones you found, and then it'll automatically live keep your progress up to date for you. So then you know the moment you achieve it.
I love it.
Yeah. And then other pages, it'll just run your stats. You're 1 away, you're 2 away, keeps you up to date.
And of course, all the calendars and grids and charts, right?
Right. You can open the notebook and it will tell you, hello, you need a where I go. You need a 2-2. You need a 2.5. You also need a virtual and something in Washington State.
This is why I don't do challenges. I have to go find, 15 various caches in a day just to meet all those challenges.
Just to keep without getting behind. Exactly.
No, but about 4 years, I like that. About 4 years, I can get a challenge done.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits. You don't have to. There's some that I've signed eons ago, and I still haven't. I still haven't achieved them.
Well, we all know that the best product in the world isn't any good if nobody knows about it. So do you have any creative marketing strategies that you have found to effectively reach the geocache community and promote your notebooks?
Passenger pigeon.
That works.
Yeah. It's really just I will hide them in certain caches, and then you can, if you happen to be gifted one via a cache, then you're all set.
Then you're responsible to fill out that notebook.
Ooh,
With great notebooks comes
I
great
like that.
responsibility.
I like that. Now, we've talked about, your notebooks will be enthroned in
Enthroned?
enthroned. I don't
Yeah.
embrined.
Enthroned?
Enthroned is
Shrine.
what I was trying to come out with.
Absolutely.
In glass cabinets in the future in museums. But as you see the future of geocaching evolving, how does your notebook fit in with that vision? I mean, are you going to be able to track treasures?
Oh goodness, that's a great question. I would love to see them become digital, because as we know, it is nice to be able to share them and automate them. But the opportunity to flip a page and to hold a pencil and then shade in a square when you've gotten it done, or check a box, really an undervalued motion that we love to make, but we don't like to say it. It's just that check is just so good. So figuring out a way to digitize some of these so that that you can still have the tactical feeling, and then the digitized automation.
Yeah. Nearly every day I go through checklists. That's how
Mhm.
I like to work.
Yeah.
Right. I can look at it and go, okay, it's all done. I
Yeah.
did it. Or if I get interrupted somewhere down the list, it's like, okay, where was it? Oh, yes. I can tell by my last check where I was. And off we go.
Exactly.
Very
Oh, I
helpful.
have so many work notebooks too. There's one. There's my Taylor Swift themed one, Jesse's version. My to-do lists, my version.
I think I've heard of her. She probably won't
T-Swift.
make it. Yeah. She
Yeah.
probably won't amount to much.
Maybe we can make her a geocacher someday.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
Maybe she already is one.
Maybe someday she'll aspire to be as great as Jesse.
Wow. Chris Ronan on the podcast called me the Taylor Swift of geocaching once, and I haven't let him forget it. It's pretty funny.
I could see that. Mhm.
I was the Taylor Swift of geocaching for Halloween this last year.
Where are you now?
I was.
Did you shake it off?
I dressed, I had one of the like Eras tour outfits, but instead of a lantern, I held bison tubes, and they were glittery bison tubes, and so I carried them around.
Nice.
All righty then. Kitty Quest says the way jtCoffee loves filling in spaces on paper, I think she should come to my annual coloring party event.
Oh,
That sounds really fun.
it
Yeah.
does.
I don't know if I've done that as a event activity before, coloring. What a great idea.
That sounds good.
Coloring is very satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to do our part to help get the word out about your notebook. Where can viewers learn more and maybe even purchase one of these great notebooks?
You can find really just in any geocache. I feel like go out caching and I'll be there. My username is jtCoffee, so find me on geocaching and message and so forth. My Instagram is Jessie, but spelled JESS_SEA. And I'm on Facebook, and those are all probably the fastest ways to get a hold of me.
And apparently you leave your calling cards around because Hawaiian Miley found one in a cache on the way to the Oregon coast, the cemetery.
Yeah, those trading cards that we have, I got some here. They're trackable, and we leave them places. It's probably this one here.
There you go. I think I have one of those somewhere.
So
I
fun.
know I do.
I think I saw you at the 20th anniversary after 22 years thing.
Yeah, that's why they were originally made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got new ones this year.
Oh, so we have to run into you at an event again.
Version 2.0.
Exactly.
It's the new and updated Jesse.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm excited to get my hands on some of these notebooks.
Me too.
And listeners, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
Yes, indeed. I'd like to thank Land Sharks, Cashly, and Tourism Valemount, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. They ship online orders daily. Cashly is the geocaching app for iOS. Get it at cashly.com or in the iOS app store. And whether you're seeking outdoor thrills or a peaceful retreat, well, Tourism Valemount awaits you. Head on up to Valemount, find all kind of stuff, and drop into the visitor center. Say hi to Mercy. We'd like to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Land Sharks, Cashly, Tourism Valemount, Cool Cow Cachers, and Hawaiian Miley. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. And we'll start off thanking Team Noltex.
And Alan. Alan, we need your geocaching name.
Just thanks to all the Allens.
All the Allens.
Specifically this Allen, whoever he is. We'd like to thank J-Car.
I don't know if it should be Just Finding Our Way or Jaffa.
About CRS 98.
Lost Ken.
Green Words.
Keats 94.
Peach, really, of Washington. She's back. Welcome home.
Mariners are playing. Seabeck Tribe.
Sprouter.
BC Rockcrawler.
Limax.
GeoNav Pro.
Kid Vegas 19.
Butterfly Girl.
Korsgat.
Ackerdoc.
Whidbey Island Gal.
Logwork.
Subway Mark.
And W Cats.
Gia somebody. Gia, what does she do? Oh, Geocaches.
That's it. And the Terrible Teas.
Nerf.
One of our new patrons, Gundark 2000.
You Talks to Rocks.
Flagman.
Just Carlo.
Railroad.
Wet Coaster.
Boomer 365.
Mountain Bike.
Geobirder.
Another new patron, Alondro.
B Pendragon.
Skyhawker.
You Dak.
LG 9000.
Gas Station Tuna.
Antaeus.
How about Genies?
How about GSM times 2?
Dora Moore.
The Camp Clan.
Trexer.
And Kitty Quest.
As we end on a quiet note, let's just continue on. Jesse, I think you've already told us how to get a hold of you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go through it one more time?
For sure. Geocaching.com. You can message me, jtCoffee. I'm on Instagram, Jesse, but spelled JESS_SEA, like Seattle, or the sea. And I'm on Facebook too. You can message me there.
There you go. Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. So if you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. Better yet, share your ideas on things we can talk about. If you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a review. If you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. Of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or send us a notebook any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingNW.com. Join us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. Maybe the sun will just be setting by the time you're getting to join us. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2025 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I hope you stay tuned for
The After Show.
the after show. Because in this after show, we're going to talk about the second clue to that vault key for Bounce Bounce's event.
You mean nobody has called in and say they found it yet?
Well, I don't know. Early on, Bryling said, well, I'm going to drive everybody away from the podcast to go run and go get that key.
I mean, there might be some truth to that.
Yeah.
You got to keep them listening.
So we know it's in the city of Tacoma. We know you have to go put your shoes on and talk to Mr. Mason. You guys know where Mr. Mason is in the city of Tacoma?
Is it a mason jar?
Oh, no.
Is it delicious jams and jellies?
That's the preservation room.
Oh, yes, of course.
It's the Mr. Mason statue to which I'm referring is at Wheelock Library.
I know where that is.
Yes.
Love a good library.
And I've talked to the librarian. I need to get on to put a library cache there.
100%.
So you look under Mr. Mason's big toe at Wheelock Library, and you're going to find this key.
And when you do, call into 253-693-TFTC.
And let us know you found it.
Yeah.
Do you want here? You know what? I got the coordinates right here. Let me post them up. Uh-oh. What, I hit one thing too many. I do not want AI going today. Turn that off.
I'll just rush right over there and grab it, except it'll take me about 4 hours to get there. So
there we go. So cool. North 97, 16.260, West 122, as one will do. 29.228.
It's West 47, actually. But
what did I say?
If you can make it to North 97, then more power to you. But I'm pretty sure you said North
97. That's not right. 47 and 122. That's what you fill in, and that's what you start with on all your puzzle caches.
Funny enough, not so much in the Tri-Cities, but yeah.
Okay.
When I started caching, they were all that way, and I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Are you a 39?
Oh no, I'm not that far south.
No, not that. That's California.
Yeah.
What's the
I should know this, but I don't. I'll tell you in a moment. Somebody else probably pop in before me
49?
here. No, I think we're like 47 or something. Let's see. This here was, where am I? 46 West 119.
Okay. It's close enough that it throws me off.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. There you go. Catching Cans got it.
Time.
Got it. I just found the virtual at the 49th parallel, just south of Nanaimo.
There you go. Yeah, it always throws me off when I realize that you go over to Vancouver Island and you land in Victoria and you're much, much further south than most of the Canadian border. I mean, Bellingham is farther north than Victoria is. So,
okay, let's see. Did you know from Caching Cans that the Going Ape event is 51 will attends away from being able to qualify for block party status? So if you haven't logged your will attend, it's time to do so. This is a GC code that Land Monkey just loves. GC away, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Man, later on updated, it's only 50 away.
Oh, 50 away. Somebody logged one.
That's right.
Those reminders.
Mm-hmm. You know, I got a reply this week. Somebody says, "Oh, thank you for mentioning that on the podcast. I went and put my will attend in this week."
There you go.
Fabulous.
You helped.
Okay, let's see.
There's a pajama party.
Yes, on the 16th. Did you know it was like National Pajama Day? And I didn't even know that was a thing before geocaching brought it out. So
you are welcome.
Is that your doing? Geocaching your pajamas?
No, not my personal doing.
Okay.
Not, certainly not. But I am hosting an event that day just for fun outside. And we can.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And that's what? Less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, for sure.
So Pajama Party, April 16th. Check out Geocaching in Your Pajamas Day. That's GC Beta 3 Quebec Kilo Bravo. Bravo, not Beta, sorry.
We understood.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
there's a very cute little pajama coin too.
Oh, is there? Is it nice and soft?
Flannel, actually. There's a flannel layer. Little fuzzy bunnies at the bottom.
Could we rename the podcast Dad Jokes in the Northwest?
Sure.
Yeah, you could.
That was probably the checkerboard.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Oh, Dora Moore says, it doesn't help that COs are allowed to change their difficulty terrain ratings on their caches. Some challenges are moving targets.
Yeah. Created because, I mean, sometimes difficulty in terrains change in real life.
Yes, that's true. What do we have here from Wet Coaster? Boy, how do you pronounce that one? Gahagafap?
Oh, Gagafap. Gagafap, I think. Yeah.
We've had that before, and I've forgotten what it stands for. But
well, it's now a block party. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
Woohoo!
That's GC Alpha Yankee 797 is now a block party. Hamilton, Ontario, 21st of June, 2025, a week before the Maritime Mega.
Amazing.
How did the Maritime Mega get a GC of 70041? That seems like a zip code.
It's the Golden Horseshoe Area Geocachers and Friends Annual Picnic. Of course it is.
Well, and that's just a mouthful. So
I mean, I knew that. I was just testing you.
My guess is they had an event page created at one point, and they're just like, let's submit that.
Keep updating it, yeah.
Yeah. The block parties, when there's a list, several people keep lists of all of the upcoming events. HQ does too, a public list that you could look at, and you can see how many there are and where they all are, and you can map them, and premium feature, so cool. There's over 120 big events, block party, between the block parties, megas, and gigas this year, over 120.
Wow. I think there was kind of a pent up demand for this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you've got all your megas and gigas that you normally have, right? Those recurring ones. But I think with the ability to make it a block party this year, it spurred people on. Let's go do it.
If anyone has ever thought, I mean, you know what, I'm going to host a big event, this was the year.
It still is. You still have time.
Oh yeah. Even if you're like, if today is the day you're like, I'm doing it, you still have time.
Jesse, you're not going to like this. 3ham says, I've lost 2 fizzy loops thanks to changing DT rating. So I was at 17. Now I'm at 15x.
Oh yeah. Heaven forbid. Don't work on your not chosen DT combination or your calendar. Because that, and on my calendar, like my regular calendar, because size can change too. That's an editable field after a published cache. So sometimes you lose.
Oh, sure.
Hey, if you're on the fence about doing that event, this is the 22nd and last one to be held.
Oof, what a year to go out.
That's right.
On the block party year.
Let's see.
Anything else interesting there?
Seebeck Tribe says, I was strongly advised not to change a DT rating of one of my caches since it was harder to get. Caching in the Bay is also June 28th in San Jose.
Ooh.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
I do. It's by the bay.
Oh,
where the watermelons grow.
Can you get a watermelon scented notebook there?
Ooh.
Probably.
Yeah.
You got to have a scented notebook.
Gives it a little something extra, don't you think?
Toss it in a cache, like an ammo can, just to freshen it up.
Thanks, Bill.
I should Febreze a notebook or something.
Not a right in the rain. It won't stick. You have to get a regular.
No, you gotta get the nice absorbent pages. Yeah.
Maybe the flannel notebooks you have. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
For caching on pajama day.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, grab your notebook and get out and get caching in the Northwest.